All right, what's going on, everybody? Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. How is everybody doing this afternoon? Hey, it's a great day. If you guys aren't outside enjoying the weather, you should be. But here I've got a podcast with two gentlemen from San Antonio, Texas, a team called Six Sense Paranormal. And the lead guy is Mr. Jeff Sullivan. Mr. Jeff Sullivan, introduce yourself and introduce your team.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Sullivan. I'm director of Six Sense Paranormal here in San Antonio, Texas. We serve pretty much South Central Texas uh, with paranormal investigations for personal. We mostly support personal homes and businesses. We also do some or public investigations. We can talk more about that also. But I am here today with my good friend and pretty much number two guy, George, and he's with us tonight. You didn't put a last name up there, so I'm not going to say it. So, altogether, Six Sense. I've been doing this a little over 20 years. George's been doing this quite a while. I think collectively, Six Sense probably has almost 200 years of experience in investigating the paranormal. So we've been doing this all together for a long, long time.
Wow. Yeah, that number is pretty big. I just wish we can last that long, living wise, over 200
Wouldn't that be
years.
nice? Yeah.
Oh, man, I would love it. I would definitely, I would love that. All right, guys. Hey, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about last week for you guys. Jeff, I know you was down in for the big event down there at Black Swan Inn.
That's
George,
right. Yes.
George, were you able to join him in that on that event?
No, I couldn't because I'm kind of still recovering from knee surgery. So no, I couldn't partake in the festivities that are the Black Swan Inn.
Okay.
It was a good show though. We it's my first time doing that one. One of our initiatives this year is to do more social stuff, do more public reach outs. Mostly because we're trying to stand the group back up. We were pretty dormant during 2020 and most of 2021. Started taking cases again here in 2022, and finishing up some cases that we've been working on. We still have 3 or 4 folks that we're still working with, and that was our first effort, I think, to kind of put ourselves back on the map. At one point, people knew who we were, and that's fallen by the wayside just a touch. So we're going to be focused on getting back on track. But it was a really good show. Lots of interesting speakers and vendors, and if you missed it, shame on you. Be there next year.
Well, I was planning on. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that lie. I was planning on. I was up in Tyler, Texas, up in Northeast Texas, getting prepared for a big event at the OP Powerhouse.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know much about that particular home, but it's a very historic home. It has a historical marker in the front yard, and it has over 2,600 bodies on an acre. Well, I'll say about 2 acres on that property. It's about 2 acres, maybe a little bit more. And I had the honor of going up there and doing a commercial for the young lady that's trying to get everything together up there. The event is October 22nd, and it's only $50 for the whole day. $50 for the whole day. You can't beat that compared to what's going on today in this paranormal world with all the money that people are shelling out to go to all these events. Hey, you get a live band, you get great music, you get a tour, a ghost tour of the vicinity of the small town, and you get to investigate the house, the property itself.
Very
all
good.
For $50.
All right.
That's
so
awesome.
You guys, excuse me?
I said that's awesome.
I didn't hear you. Let me put this on.
He said that's awesome.
Yeah, George. So I expect to see you there, man.
Is is my volume too low? Can y'all not hear me?
No, I hear you fine, man.
I hear you fine. It's just my was out of my ear at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what we're going. Well, no, seriously, let's get back to this Black Swan, man, because I really, I mean, I'm not a critic of it. Like I say, I've never been there, but how was the para unity there? Did you feel any para unity while you was at that event, Jeff? What I mean by para unity, did people was curious about you? I mean, did you have a bunch of group of people just come and want to know who you are, what you're about?
We actually had some. I had some good conversations. I was there with our spiritual director, Bruce, and we spent some time talking to other groups. Reached out to a couple of them. George and I are having some preliminary conversations about how to proceed. There were 3 or 4 groups there that stopped to talk to us. We visited with them. Um, everybody's just looking for things to do, places to investigate, and that kind of stuff. Um, we haven't in the past focused a lot on those quote unquote haunted places
Mm-hmm.
that you have to pay for. We've kind of been there, done that, but we're returning to doing more public investigations. The Black Swan is one that personally I've done. George, have you been over there?
I've been about 4 or
Yeah,
5 times, man.
yeah. So I did it several times. George's done it several times. It's an interesting property with a lot of
Yes.
historical significance, and there's quite a few things that happen there that are, I would say, that are in line with the history. There's
Okay.
just like any other public investigation place. There's things that happen that don't really match the history. Um, but yeah, there were quite a few groups there. We spent some time talking to the Ghoul Girls, and there's a new group called something Paranormal Journal, I think they're called, and
Hmm.
they're a fairly new group made up of some veteran investigators and some new folks that are just getting started. So it was fun to talk to them. Uh,
Okay.
there were several groups there. Everybody kind of had their own agenda. We were just passing out cards and talking to people, telling stories. So
Okay. All right. Well, it's. I mean, it's kind of crazy because I'm the type of person, like you said, Jeff, been there, done that. I have not done that, and to be honest with you, I don't care to do that because it seems like it's a money thing.
mm-hmm.
It's a money thing. Now I don't know how much you guys pay to actually to get into that event. You
To
know.
I don't know how much it was to. I think it was like $45 to
To get in.
participate or to come to the event.
Hmm.
And you got to, if you did the VIP thing, you got a T-shirt. You got a. They were doing tours of the house and the property, telling the stories. It was like $50 for us to be a vendor there. But in my mind, I'm trying to stand the group back up. So uh, it was a good for me. It was money well spent. We were able to get out there and meet new people and kind of put ourselves out there again. It was interesting because I had a couple of folks that came up. In fact, the guys that run it, Curious Twins Paranormal. I've
Hmm.
known those guys over the years. We've run into each other several times. We've had nice conversations. I haven't really. I've never investigated with them or anything, but they were running the thing and they did an excellent job. So overall, it was a good experience and money well spent. Now, if you want to talk about paying to go do investigations, that's a whole nother story. George, I don't know what your take on that is, but go ahead.
As far as paying for how much it costs
Paying to investigate, yeah.
no, I'll do it a couple of times if I find something interesting. But in the long run, like more than a few, because I mean, when I very first went, it was like when I very first started investigating, so I was real excited. Yeah, sure, I'll pay to go. No, not so much. I've like I said, been there, done that. Plus, I know if I remember correctly, they upped the price on the place. So
I
I'm
don't
like,
know what the price is currently.
uh, I don't want to start that, but yeah, it's I think it's gone now, and I'm just like no. And for those of you who don't know, the people that own the Black Swan are the same people that own Yorktown,
Yep. Yorktown
and
Hospital.
yeah, and I've got great evidence there. But then it's like I've been there about 4 or 5 times, so I'm like, I'm good, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. After.
you know, and but it's always been with, hey, we're going here. Do you want to go? Okay, sure. Why not? It's a you're always at these places. You're always going to get somewhat good evidence. Actually, great evidence. I've got really great evidence in both these places.
Yep.
Right.
So I don't know if I answered your question or if I just rambled on too much.
Hey, you did an excellent job. I mean, hey, uh, well said. But uh, I know you guys are strictly residential and uh, you know commercial. Jeff, because when you say you want to get things back going up, how many investigations were you guys averaging uh, a month? When you guys were active and
At the
up and
height of things, I tried to keep it to 3 or less active investigations at a time. We usually had 2 or 3 though that we were doing preliminary interviews and initial visits and things like that too. So um, at the height of things prior to COVID, we were doing probably had between 3 and 5 cases running any particular moment in time at
wow,
some stage.
wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. But when COVID was going on, and I can honestly say they shut down a lot of teams. But for NSPS TV Paranormal, that's when we were at our busiest time.
We took
Uh,
a lot of calls during that time, but we
yeah,
didn't take any cases, which is not too difficult to do, really, if you stop and think about the number of calls we get versus the number of cases or the number of calls that turn into cases.
yeah.
You know,
Because I mean, we were able to get into places that places are shut down. We were able to get in there and actually investigate the spaghetti warehouse, which is probably
now which
it,
spaghetti warehouse are you talking about? That's an interesting choice that you'd say that.
yeah. Because I was about to, man. There's spaghetti warehouses in every city that seem to be haunted.
It
I mean,
seems like they're all are haunted. What the heck is up with that?
I have no clue. The one in Austin, down there off of West Fifth Street,
Hmm.
uh, was known to be haunted. And what's so crazy about it, uh, the it, the train tracks, something happened with the train tracks. It might have been an accident there, a train. It might have been a train derailment. I'm not quite sure, but they end up building that spaghetti warehouse right there right next there, or even close to the train tracks. You
Hmm.
actually had to cross the train tracks to even park in front of the spaghetti warehouse here in Austin. But yeah, man, Jeff, it seemed like the ones in Houston is haunted
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I've had somebody call me up about that one. The one in San Antonio and the one in Austin. It seemed like it's a little.
That's why I asked, because I've heard stories about the one in Austin. I've heard stories about the one in Houston, and right before COVID, actually not right before COVID, but a few months before COVID, we had started to talk to the people. In fact, we had a preliminary interview with the folks at the spaghetti warehouse here downtown, and that never went anywhere. Their management has changed, so um, we're not, we've kind of backed off of that one. But yeah, it's kind of funny to me that so many spaghetti warehouses seem to be haunted.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe their food needs to be better or something. I don't know.
I'm thinking because when we went in there, dude. I mean, we actually you hear a creak because how old the facility is. You
Right.
might hear a window or a gust of wind might blow past you, but we've never ever heard. I mean, got any significant evidence at that facility. I mean, even though with all the history there, I mean, we've never caught anything. But then again, you got to realize what I might not catch anything, but the next investigator might. That's
Yeah.
just the way the world.
Right.
That's just the way it works. You
Sure.
know what I'm
Well, and
saying?
that's one of the things that I like about doing private cases more than public ones is that we can, we when we start working a private case, that's going to be as many investigations, as many trips to that property as it takes to figure out the problem. And you don't always get that when you're doing a public place because
Right.
of all the hoops they have to jump through to get you in there.
Oh yeah.
They
Uh,
may want you to come back 3 or 4 times, but you're lucky logistically if you can figure out a way to make it happen for 4 hours on a Friday night.
Right.
It's hard sometimes, and you can't fault those people for that.
no, you can't. You can't. But you know what? For every person or individual or business that turns you down, there are at least two or three that would say yes and will open you up for open arms. Uh,
Right.
I had this I had this incident where I was out at Texas, uh, Austin School for the Children out there on MLK. Opened up 1939. Okay, let's do a little history on this place. Okay, and I'll do it now. And let's talk about children for a minute. Children are special people. No matter what age, from the time they're born to the time that they hit puberty, they're special. Now, there also are special needs kids that
Oh
have
yeah.
special needs. Things that we might understand today, they might not understand back in 1930 and 1940s. So parents that don't have patience or the time or the willpower to take care of their kids, so they put them in a facility and they pretty much abandon them
Yeah.
because they don't want to deal with it. And that's the way this school was. So we did an investigation over there. Long story short, Jeff, uh, we actually got contact of the director. Man, this guy basically wanted to run our name to background check. He wanted to do this and do that. And the first question that I ask is, or is this facility state funded? Are you getting taxpayers' money? If you're getting taxpayers' money to this facility to run it, then I think I have a right to be here because you're actually getting taxpayers' money.
Mm.
No
Yeah.
matter the place is shut down, but there's still a public school there. And so he's like, well, it's blah 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 blah, but you can go visit the cemetery in the back. There's actually a kid cemetery from where this school used to be
Oh wow.
for all these unwanted kids. And so we went back there, and a buddy of mine, a buddy of mine that used to, uh, Doug, he used to go out there and talk to the kids because the kids didn't have nobody to talk to. He did like a little community service, and he ran across a kid he knew that was actually buried at that cemetery.
Hmm.
And dude, this guy, he actually broke down and started crying. I actually caught the whole thing while I was doing my live video on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and it's just weird, man, on how it's just crazy, man, on how people would be like that. And yes, you can get in this place. No, you can't get in that place. But if you taxpayer funded, oh yeah, best for show. I'm going to get in that place. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
the problem that you run into in some of these places is that the people who own them, whether it's taxpayer funded or not, they have rules, and You know, you gotta make sure you hit all the rules. Um, we've done a number of cases in different places where, you know, it's like you have to have the right permissions and the right things to go in. If it's something that's going to require that we do a whole bunch of paperwork or jump through a whole bunch of hoops, I don't worry about it. We just don't do it.
Right.
You know, the thing about paranormal investigating, to me, George, correct me if I step out of line here. Um, we do this because we all want to know, and we want to explore those questions that come up in the whole, and in this case, when we talk about paranormal, we're talking about at life after death, ghosts, that kind of stuff. I figure if I kind of have two or three rules that we live by. One, if they call us, then they obviously have done what they need to do for us to give them the time and effort of an interview. That's the first thing. Um, Regardless of how they might have come across what we do. But the second thing is, if you want us to investigate, you want to reach out to us and ask us to spend our time investigating your problem, then you need to be on board with that enough to help facilitate that and make it happen. If you want to make it difficult, we're just not going to do it. So,
Exactly.
you know, it's I I stopped chasing investigations years ago, and I don't expect to ever start again. I think George in the same boat. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been in this. I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I stopped doing that myself. But
yep. What were you gonna say, George?
What I do want to say though is not only does the person have to be on board, but their family.
Yeah, that's very
Family
true.
has to be on board. Because if you have one person that is down for it and they're like, okay, let's do this, yeah, come in, and then their husband or their wife is like, well, I don't know. It's like, or even their kids. Well, who are these people that you're bringing in? It's like everybody has to know ahead of time. Everybody has to be on board from the get go, because if
right,
not, it may create problems. And when you get to some place and like the husband or the wife is like, well, who are these people? It's like, well, I invited them to come and investigate our house, and it could create that problem between the family members, and that's something that we don't want to do.
right,
So
right.
everybody has to get on. I mean, grandmother, grandfather, anybody who's in the
Well,
house.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And at the same time, if there's people in the house that are not on board with the investigation, then that's an indicator that there may be some other issues going on there
Right.
interpersonally with people. And eh, that can affect paranormal activity. So y'all need to figure that out before you bring us in. So
yeah,
we'll see you later. Um, yeah, we've had that 3 or 4 times, I think, and those kind of situations, and it's never been something we wanted to pursue long term.
yeah. That big word negativity. That big word negativity, man. That is a catalyst for paranormal. And just paranormal, because you got something negative that's always around you, man. Whatever's in your house is gonna feed off of that, and they're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
eat it and eat it and eat it, and then they're gonna turn around and eat at you until it gets to a point where you just can't take it no more. So hey, it seems like all these, because you're right, George. Everybody has to be on board, and everybody's got to be positive.
Yeah.
Because if you're not positive, and if an entity senses just an inch of negativity, like I was telling you, they are going to eat off of that, and they're going to make something that it just go from worse to worse, and it's just going to keep going downhill. And I really don't want nobody to lose their home over
Right.
something that they could have controlled uh, so many years ago with all the negativity that's in the house. And trust me, ghosts or entities feed off of children because their emotions are so, man, left, right. I mean, you really don't. Kids are something else because one minute they're up, they're happy. Next minute they're down, and teenagers are especially like that. They're 15 years old. They're going through a certain thing in life. And and if you got something like that in your house, they're definitely going to eat that up. So everybody definitely has to be on board.
Well,
You know what I'm
You know,
saying?
and that theory that they're talking about, how young ladies who are becoming who are kind of coming into womanhood, you know, they have that where poltergeist activity happens in the home. Look, they're not call. I mean, they don't intentionally cause it, but it's something that happens from the body change, from that whole life cycle, if you will, at that point in time. Uh, so that can happen, and like I said, they're not intentionally causing it, but if it happens, it may, within a few years, they say it goes away. So you never know what the circumstance is.
Yeah.
But as long as they're it's free, we can go in and figure it out. Well, then that's great.
Yes, sir. Uh, let's change the subject for a minute. Uh, you guys, Jeff, you've been doing this for 20 something years. George, you've been
Yeah,
doing
just
it
over 20.
probably, you've been doing it longer than me. And I just got a phone call from a young man or from a guy down in South Texas who's wants to, somebody called him and asked him, how to put a team together. What is your foundation, Jeff, on putting a team together? What is your foundation? What is your base?
My okay. Can you clarify what direction you want me to approach that from?
Okay, you are a individual that somebody's came out. It's like, hey, Jeff, man, I'm trying to put a team together. Can you show me how to do this? I mean,
Okay, okay. Um, my first advice to anybody who wants to investigate the paranormal is join another team. Join a team. Um, if you've never done this work before and all you've seen is TV, quite frankly, you have no freaking idea what you're doing. Um, so don't. That's the first thing. Don't. Um, I watch YouTube a lot, and I'm constantly drawn to these paranormal YouTube channels where some lone idiot will go out in the middle of nowhere and try to investigate this supposedly haunted place that's out in the middle of the woods somewhere because it's been abandoned, and then you get to see all of their foibles and their mistakes and what happens when some homeless guy is terrorizing the crap out of them, and they think it's paranormal. So the first thing is, if you don't have any experience in the paranormal, join some other group. Don't try to form your own. Um, that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you've got some experience and you want to branch out and build your own team, then you just need to, first of all, find some people who feel the same way you do about it. There's all kinds of teams out there. I've worked with some different ones. George has worked with some different ones. You know, not everybody. Let me say it this way: not everybody is built for the rigors of working with a private case. Not everybody is ready for that. In fact, we've revamped the way we are going to handle those kind of cases moving forward, and we're just not going to bring as many people in on those. The other kind of case, though, public cases where you're going to the Yorktowns, the Victorias, and the hotels and things like that, the spaghetti warehouses of the world. Um, those investigations are not hard to find,
right.
and if you want to do those kind of investigations, you just need to find group of people that want to do things similar to you. The thing in my mind is you need to, if you're going to do investigating, you need to take it seriously enough to investigate correctly. Now, everybody has their own definition of what correctly is. We all have our own pros and cons about what kind of equipment to use. All of that, I think, is good because at the end of the day, different things happen in different ways. But my first advice to somebody who wants to form a group, if they have no experience as a paranormal investigator, is don't. Just go join another group because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I had no intention of running a group when I started doing this work. I was looking for answers to questions that I had experienced prior, and I'm doing what I do today for two reasons. One, it fell in my lap, and two, um, I've been told basically the universe has decided we're going to continue to do this. Okay. Um, but that's the advice I would give somebody new is to find a reputable group that you resonate with and spend some time learning the trade, learn the craft.
Cool. Now, one thing that I think all three of us can agree on is all equipment that are out there for the paranormal. I can honestly say, or hopefully you guys can agree with me, 80% of it is full of crap.
I've got pretty simple needs when it comes to equipment, and I think George does too. George is one of
Yeah.
our good video guys. Um, so he's one of our videographers.
You know,
Um, yeah, I don't use a whole lot of equipment. Now we have people on the team that have invested in some of that stuff, and when the circumstances of an investigation warrant it, we'll try some of those experiments. But
Sure.
when you start looking at all of the different kind of equipment that's out there, in my mind, and this is just Jeff's opinion, um, it really comes down to two things: photographs and audio recordings. Everything else is so hit and miss that you just really have a hard time um, giving it enough credence to make it uh, worth validating. Um, even photographs and audio evidence can be poo pooed and second guessed. And I mean, we all do that when we watch I just talked about the idiot uh, uh, trying to investigate by himself in the middle of the night on YouTube, and we see that kind of stuff all the time. So even the photographs can be questioned and that kind of stuff, which I think is probably the worst stumbling block we have as paranormal investigators, is that it's so hard to quantify the science that even if one of us ever were to find definitive proof, it would only be definitive proof for ourselves and whoever else was there.
right.
That's really the way it is. And
Now,
George and I think we found that for ourselves, but we can't
now,
ever prove it. Go ahead.
let me ask you a question. Do you think that the way the paranormal, this whole paranormal thing, do you think it's actually set up for paranormal investigators to fail because of all the critics and all people and all the doubters and all the signs where you think you got something, somebody will come in and look at it and say, well, no, no, it's not this, even though you got clear validation and you got all this. But to me, it seems like it's just there's more people out there that can go against you than actually come with you. In
George, go ahead.
I'd like to say this. It's not my job to change your mind. It's my job to put it out there, let you look at it, and you come up with your own decisions. Uh, Now, I can tell you the situations that happened when we got the evidence. Was I by my was it by myself in the room? Was it two or more people? Was it that? That I can tell you. But ultimately, it's I'm I'm just there to show you what I got. You can choose to believe whatever you want to. If you want to believe the Earth is flat, believe the Earth is flat. I'm nobody to tell you different. You know what I mean?
right,
I can tell you this too. The evidence that I put out there, I spent a lot of time looking for. So when I mean, and this was something I was going to bring up. If I if you take 8 hours of video, it's going to take you 16 hours to review it.
Exactly.
You know, people get that. If you take 8 hours of audio, it's going to take you 16 hours to review it. So that's 32 hours on just 8 hours of video and 8 hours of audio. I'm going to be sure that what I give out, what I put out is I mean, I'm going to put out Class B, I'm going to put out Class A, but it's going to be something. And if you choose to believe it or not, that's not up to me to change your mind. Now, if you came up to me and said, I want to go where you got that piece of evidence from, let's go. I'll be more than happy to take you. But as far as a piece of evidence goes, I mean, like I said, I mean, that's what I believe. I'm not there to change anybody's mind. They can think whatever they want, and I get on my soapbox now.
we kind of have the same soapbox, but let's look at this from a attitude of scientific experimentation. We learned in high school, grade school even, that in order to apply the scientific method, you have to formulate a hypothesis, which is an idea. This is what I think is happening, and then you go to try and measure that or prove that hypothesis. And the scientific method says that you need to be able to predictable and repeatable. Those are the two key words, I think, when you're learning that stuff. That's the problem in investigating the paranormal. The science behind the paranormal and the equipment that we currently have does not allow for us to get repeatable and predictable results. So from that perspective, Terry, I think you might be right, set up to fail. But I really hate to look at it that way. George brought up an interesting point, because not once in all the time I've ever done this, have I ever captured evidence and shared it with a client and said, that's your great Aunt Sally. I've never, ever told them that, okay? The way we present evidence is, and we have our own rule about orbs, so without getting into that, but when a photograph is taken or an EVP is captured, we share that with the client and we explain to them what was happening when that happened, all right? And we let them draw that conclusion, because that's not up to us, we just don't know. But if at the end of the day, if it resonates with that person, if it gives that person some peace, if it gives that person the closure that they need, then I would say that we have been successful, because that person is now at peace, as is whoever they thought we were capturing, But you find that stuff all the time, I have a photograph that I know exactly what it is, but I can't prove it, so I don't put that out there. I don't even have a good story to go with. Well, I guess I do have a good story to go with it, but I wouldn't put it out there because of that. So are we set up to fail? I don't think we're set up to fail, but we have to accept the fact that there's the only people that we're ever going to be able to prove anything to with the evidence that we collect is whoever was there the time that the evidence was collected. All right. I have one case that we were there for 7 years off and on. And there was one night during a period of like 20 minutes on two separate digital cameras, every picture we took had some sort of crazy light anomaly. Now, I've shown those pictures and I've told that story. In fact, I'll show those pictures and tell that story next week. But I've had people in my audience go, well, that's such and such, and that's so and so. And what I ask them is, can you help me duplicate that? Because I've been showing these pictures for 10 years in the hopes that someone can give me a rational explanation for those photographs. And if I can ever duplicate them, then I have disproved them. And once I disprove them, then I can stop showing them. What I'm showing you right now is photographs that you can tell me, oh, you can do this and you can do that. But you know what? Every single time in the last 10 years that I've shown those photographs and told those stories, and somebody said, this could be that and this could be that, when I put them on the spot and say, can you help me duplicate this? They say, I can't. Okay? So there's always going to be a pundit. You put me up on my soapbox, so it's your own fault, Cherry. There's always going to be somebody that's going to poo-poo the evidence, all right?
Yeah.
Always. In fact, sometimes I'm the guy that's poo-pooing the evidence. If George had a nickel for every time he's come to me with an EVP and I would go, I just don't get it. Seriously, he could retire today.
Wow.
Because everybody's got to, it's got to be something that works for everybody in order for it to be accepted. But there's always going to be somebody out there that goes, well, this could have been done that way. Or, it's like the guys on YouTube that you pan the camera around and there's a shadow figure peeking out the door. Have you ever seen a shadow figure peeking out the door? George, have you ever seen a shadow figure peeking out the door? No. I've seen them standing in the door.
Yeah.
I've seen them walking by, but I ain't never seen them peek out going, oh, do you see me? Oh, no. Okay. So in that case, that could be completely real, but I'm the pundit that's going to say BS.
BS.
Okay. There's always going to be somebody. So, I don't know that we're set up to fail, but we have to accept that particular fact of what we do.
Okay, cool. Hey, are you guys able to look at the comments?
No, I don't see anything up here.
What about you, George?
Do we have to click the little tab that says comments?
Yeah, click that.
Okay.
Let me click on the comments.
Is that the question from Anthony? What do you think about paranormal experts that knock you down? Okay, I'm gonna say this, and then George, you can throw me under the bus. I'm not sure how you define a paranormal expert. Okay, that's the first thing. Because we all have different experience, we all approach it from a different attitude, spiritually and emotionally, and I think because of that, we're all going to get different results. A paranormal expert is about 3 steps below becoming a chef. Did you know that becoming a chef doesn't? There's no test you can take to become a chef. You just do it for long enough, and then you become a chef. And there's people out there that call themselves a paranormal expert because they've done a few things. Zach Bagans, don't even get me started. He thinks he's an expert. I don't really care what people say. We do the investigation, we collect the evidence, and we tell the story and show the evidence. That's what we do. And if it helps somebody get closure, then I'm all about it. And if some self-professed paranormal expert wants to debunk that, then they're certainly within their rights to do that. So,
Well,
there's Texas Wraith Hunters saying hi to George.
What's up, bro?
Those guys were there the other night too. Those guys were there. They're from like Lubbock or something, right? Where y'all from?
They're from Odessa, I think.
Odessa. Okay, yeah.
What's up? Yeah, they've come on our show a couple times.
Okay,
I talked in the chat room. But what's up, brother? How you doing? Jeff, I cannot throw you under the bus because I feel the same way.
Woo! My lucky day.
Like I said, I mean, I've gotten. I went to this event one time, and it was a Para-Unity event here in town. I'm not gonna go too much into it because, and I stood in front of everybody and I told everybody, look around you. And I don't even know why I'm telling the story right now, but for some reason I feel the need to tell it. I said, look around. I said, next meeting, half the people in this room aren't going to be here because they've gotten hurt. They've gotten, their feelings hurt. They've gotten something. Someone doesn't agree with them, whatever the case. And I told them, I said, look, I have a computer and I have my laptop that I'm on right now. I said, full of evidence. I said, all you have to do is walk up to me and ask to see it, and I will show it to anybody. Because I think that's part of Para-Unity is being able to show what's it called? Being we're see through, being
Transparent.
that, yeah, being transparent. And I'm like, it's there. All you got to do is ask. All you got to do is ask me. I'll turn the computer on, and I'll show you what I've got. You know, and do you know nobody walked up and asked me?
Wow, really?
Not a one person walked up and asked me. And I'm like, I was there, man. I was there. Willing to bare my soul, my paranormal soul for everybody, and let you see what I got, and let you question it, and ask me questions, and nobody even, not one person came up to me. I'm like, okay, and I don't even know why I told the story. Like I said, sir, I just I felt the need to say it.
Hey, that's okay, brother. Trust me.
It's important, man.
It's important.
From a para-unity standpoint, I would say this. Especially if you're working private cases, one of the questions you need to ask is, have you brought in any other groups? If so, who? And why are they still working with you? All right. And that's not to be, proprietary or anything else with it. It's to cover your own butt, my folks, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's Bruce. Let's see. Jeff, give an overview. Okay, I will in a minute. So the thing about unity is you got to ask that question. All right, because sometimes what'll happen is someone will decide that the problem they have is not them. It couldn't be them because we're not responsible for anything that goes on in our lives. It's somebody or something else. So they decide that the problem's paranormal. Some group goes in and discovers what the problem really is. These people have issues and they need to sort it out. But they don't like that answer. So then they go looking for another group. All right. We had a lady a few years ago that had demon nests. And if I had asked that question, I would have found out that another group had already been there. If the group that she called after us had asked that question, they would have found out that we had been there already. Okay. And that this woman just needed some help, some psychological help, not paranormal help. So that's, from that perspective, I think, from a unity thing, this proprietary nature of what we get and all of that, it's kind of BS. In fact, one of the things that we're going to be doing in the near future, some of our blog posts, we're actually going to put a page up, a section on the website dedicated to evidence, and we're going to post some images and some video and some EVPs with the stories, so that people can see those. So did that answer your question between
Yes.
George and I? Okay. Bruce is asking us to give an overview of tonight's investigation. So several months ago, you may have read about a truckload of migrant workers that died inside the truck, and the police found the truck with the driver still there. I don't have the whole story in front of me, but those people died down on a road here south of town, and there's been a memorial erected to them. That it's quite an emotional sight to go down there and see that. So Bruce and I went and did a preliminary investigation, and I'm glad we did, because I needed to get past that so I could actually run this one. But we're meeting tonight at the Love's Truck Stop, 9 p.m. on Fisher Road, 935 South. If you're interested in doing that, we'll caravan over to the place, and then you can spend some time at that memorial. We're doing that tonight. So, so we'll see you there, man. You got a couple hours. You should be able to get your butt down here.
Okay. Well,
I'm teasing. If you're like me, it's like, wait, I need 2 weeks notice before I can do anything.
Hey, Jeff, let's talk about the community for a minute.
Okay. I don't know if I'm the right guy to talk to the community.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. You
George is more connected to the community than I am. Go ahead. What's your question?
How does your community embrace you? And what do you do to reach out to your community to let people know that, hey, Just Television is here, Six Sense Paranormal is here. If you need any help, please contact us. But without how, but without social media, how do you reach out to people like that without using social media? What do you do?
You don't do much without social media today, to
Are
be
you
quite
sure?
honest. You know, we do word of mouth. We've had some investigations that have come from people we've helped or from people we've met. Um, we put cards out like freaking everywhere. Okay, if I'm driving through a town and stop for gas and I see the gas station has got one of those little community bulletin boards,
No, you put a card in there.
I put a card up, man. I do. Why? Because you never know when somebody's going to need some help.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
right.
But without social media, the big thing is the website, which I don't consider social media. SEO is a huge thing. When we first started out a few years ago, San Antonio is interesting. I don't know if other towns face this or not, but there's a group here in San Antonio. I think they're still a valid group called San Antonio Paranormal Investigations.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the guy who runs that was very smart in picking those words, but I think it was more of an accident than something SEO related. But when you search for a paranormal investigator in San Antonio, what are you going to search for? Paranormal investigator, San Antonio, Texas.
And his name pops up.
His freaking website
Pops up.
is the search string.
Yep.
So he's always going to be number one on the page. Okay. However, may or may not, depending upon who you are, be the number one pick there for that. So we use SEO on our website to get us up on the rankings. We're down right now because we let it all go during COVID, but we'll be back on the front page here soon. And then, you get people who care about you and believe in what you do, and they join your social media and they let everybody else know. I almost had a heart attack today because I don't remember the last time I looked at the followers on our Facebook page because I've just been focused on putting the content up there and being active there. But in advance of this today, I realized we have like 2,600 people subscribed to our Facebook page.
Wow.
So
you didn't pay attention to that?
Yeah, I had never really paid any attention to it because I've been busy working on things on the back end, which is one of the reasons why we've made some changes. But yeah, that's a huge deal for us. And thank you to all of you, whoever you are. Yeah, so social in today's world, I think social media plays a huge role. SEO is the other piece of it, and then finally word of mouth. We get a lot of cases because people know who we are. And then we have active members like Bruce and George who are always looking for new cases.
I've always, for some reason, I got to have that eye contact with you when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I've got to have that hands-on feelings when I'm, because I want people to see my expressions when we talk about a certain case, just to let them know and how I feel about, I'm really sincere about that on what we do. So when we do go out into the community, we'll go to like a Buffalo Wild Wings or someplace where there's a massive amount of people, especially during today because it's football crazy. And, and I'll get these massive, large amount of people coming up to us because at Buffalo Wild Wings, we're able to set a booth up, because Buffalo Wild Wings is all about community, so especially in ours. So I'm able. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's a great idea. We haven't done much of that yet.
Yeah, so we're able to do that, put our cameras out, or some of our merchandise and stuff, and hand cards out left and right. And next thing you know, I'm getting phone calls left and right, this and that. You guys might have to, don't come check out my house, come check out my property, and it's just been a flux of people, that embraces you because, first of all, they don't know that you're there until they actually, see you, you actually come walk through the door and it's like, see the part of paranormal investigators. Hey, I didn't even know you guys exist. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and next thing you know, bam, hey, you got like maybe 50 to 60 new likes on your Facebook page. You know, then you go to YouTube, you got a certain many likes on there, then Instagram, and so on and so on. So I always figure out just, going out actually, talking to people. Well, it's a lot. I mean, I'm not saying social media is not. It's okay, but I'm that type of guy that like to have that eye to eye contact.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have to do well. That's one of the reasons we went to the Black Swan party the other night or last week. That's one of the reasons why we went to that, because we were interested in. Actually, that was the 17th, so 2 weeks ago. We went there because we wanted some FaceTime. We wanted to get out there and be with the people again. So yeah, there's got to be some other places we could do that at. So we'll have to investigate that, George.
If you guys,
I will say this. Usually, though, when I hand out my business cards, I usually put a $50 bill with them, and I'm like, here, no, tell your friends. Tell your friends. No, I'm playing.
Hey, well, I tell you what. Hey, if you do that, man, I got like 50 different masks.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get that $50 each time. Have a different mask on every time I come up. Make sure I get that $50.
So we got Anthony asking, when we bring in new members, do we do background checks, and what's our procedure? I have not done any background checks on anybody. It's something we've thought about. We just haven't really started doing it. What I do is I usually meet the person face to face, first of all, keeping in line with Terry wanting to see people's face. And that gives me an idea whether or not we want, whether or not we're gonna be a match. Usually I'll take George or somebody else, and we meet and discuss and talk. The second thing, though, that I do is if you're, you want to join the group and you want to be part of it, great. But if you've never done paranormal investigating, true, real, focused paranormal investigating, we're going to bring you in and invite you to come to some public events first. Okay. You're not coming to a private home and working a private case with us until you prove to me a few things. One, you can be a good investigator, meaning you don't run at the drop of a hat. Okay. All that crap you see on TV all the time, that, first of all, you don't do any of that. Second thing is you are able to capture and process evidence. And three, you're going to be steady enough to do the case. We have people in our group that come from all different races, all different religions. We're multi-ethnic, multi-religion, multi-gender. We don't care. Okay, where we're looking for is people who are dedicated to doing what we do, and that's where it stands. So I've not done a background investigation on anybody, but my experience has been that if you're not a good fit for us, then you're going to go find somewhere else to be.
Right. Yeah, the one thing that gets me the most is I'll get a phone call. Hey, man, I saw you this, that. I would love to join your team, set them up. I'll say, okay. I'm like you, Jeff. We'll go. We'll meet. I'll introduce myself. And I'll just ask, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yep.
If that conversation right there don't go no more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and you telling me a little bit about yourself, that's an X right there. I'm X. You get 3 strikes. I believe in the 3-strike rule. That's 1 strike. The second strike, if you're not between a certain age, that I know that's not gonna kid around and do this one-hit wonder thing. Hey, I did this, and now I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not, Jeff, George, I don't know what numbers you guys have, but I'm for somebody who's really serious in the paranormal, has to be at least over 40. You guys.
I've never put an age limit on it. I will say that there's a personality type that likes to use all the toys they might have for every investigation, and that's just a maturity thing. So I've never placed any age limits other than you need to be over the age of consent. You need to be over 18. because this is adult stuff we're doing. This is
Yeah.
not a game.
right.
This is
But
not.
see,
Yeah, this is spiritually dangerous stuff. And if you're not mentally, emotionally, and physically ready for it, that's not a good thing. So yeah.
and
Um.
I really
Well,
don't want nobody to say, "Hey, being a paranormal is on investigator is on my bucket list." Then next thing
yeah.
you know, they got the hey. If you like, okay, just come on, bam, bam.
Well, and
I
that's
take
one of the
the hat
reasons
off.
why
I don't do that.
that's one of the reasons why we're doing more or we're doing more public investigations now. It gives people an opportunity to hit the bucket list or experience what they need to do, but also gives people the opportunity to prove to us that they're ready for more.
Right.
And that's super super important.
Yeah,
George and I have done some cases together that heck we're working one now that we would just not bring just anybody in.
No.
There's just no way. In fact, I don't know about you, George, but I wouldn't bring any females in on this case if I didn't have to. So, but if you don't give people an opportunity to start, in my mind, then then they have no opportunity. But at the same time, we're not one of those groups that's just out there to see what we can scare the crap out of ourselves on a Friday night. So,
Right.
um, we're looking for more than that. So we don't tend to get people who aren't too serious. And I see the next question from Bruce is for you, Terry. So
NFL to you. Have you seen had an interaction with Austin since
seance, yeah,
an Austin seance?
we found them on social media recently. They're doing seances in Austin.
Well, I know that they're having a big event, but I'm not too quite sure
You don't
on
know
what
any of
that.
those folks?
Nah,
Can't speak to validity or anything like that?
nah.
Okay then.
A matter of fact, I just looked the page up right now, and I can't say that I have. No. Oh, I can't say it. No. Nope, don't know who the guy is personally. But anyway,
All right.
let's move on.
Let's move
Hey,
on.
Jeff.
Yes, sir.
All right, dude. Here's a question for you. How long? How good? I mean, do you guys get along with your neighbor, your paranormal neighbor?
My paranormal neighbors?
Yeah, it seems like no matter what side of San Antonio that you're in, there seem to be like 15 or 20 other paranormal investigators in the same community. Do you guys get along with everybody?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Of all the paranormal investigators I've met, there's only one that I don't get along with.
Uh-oh.
Okay? And that's mostly because we have different views on how to treat people. So that's really it.
Right.
Okay.
George, how about you? You're more out there than I am, especially lately.
I am the paranormal social butterfly of the team.
You really are.
I get along with everybody, man. I tell everybody this. I'm like is it Switzerland? I'm neutral. I don't want no problem. I don't need no problem. I'm just cool with everybody. I'll help you any way I can. Anyway, I mean, if you want to sit there and talk about a case, I'll talk about a case. I kind of feel like I'm the old man of the group that people can bounce things off of. Where it's like I should be talking like this. Hey, but yeah, I don't have any problem with anybody, man. I have.
Well,
So
hey,
what?
have you
Hang
guys,
on, Anthony. I'm sorry, Terry. Anthony's saying something about Austin Seance is very knowledgeable about what they do, and they're in the talking board. What's the talking board?
Oh,
I don't know what that is. Is there some group that we need to know about? So what were you going to say, Terry? I'm
Hey,
sorry.
have you guys ran across a team called Afterlife Paranormal?
I think
Absolutely.
the name sounds familiar, but
Name
that
sounds familiar.
phraseology would sound familiar to me anyway. I
They
don't know.
actually they actually run the Immortal 32 historical home out in Seguin, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We went there. Was it last Halloween?
Man,
It
that was
was
over a year ago. I don't remember.
yeah, or something like that. I've been out to that place, the Immortal
What
32 house.
What do you think about that house, George?
I think it's cool. I mean,
Oh, okay.
the way it's just the historical value of it. I mean, you think about this
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Uh, uh, these are the 32 men that went, the only 32 men that went to back up Travis at the Alamo,
Mm-hmm.
and and the husband, I don't remember what his name was, the one that was the commander of the group. He told his like 8.5 month pregnant wife that he was going and he was probably not going to return. He was probably going to die. And I mean, first off, the cojones it took to tell a pregnant woman that, I mean, it must have been hard on her, hard on him, hard on, all the guys. But they still went. But
Yeah.
the house itself, it's an amazing house. I mean, it's more log cabin, uh, but where the dining room is, they had these little square windows. No, I'd say about a foot by 2 feet.
Yeah, the shooting the
The
shooting
shooting,
group.
yes,
Yeah,
the shooting window.
the shooting
That
window.
place was is cool to see, but there's more, and I've caught great evidence there. I did. There was another house on the property that they were
Yeah,
actually renting out to people to live,
yeah.
and as I walked in there, I heard somebody. I don't remember what they said, but they said something, a disembodied voice. So yeah, that place is legit. That place is, and it's awesome, and just
Yeah.
Very
Texas
cool.
history wise, awesome.
Yeah, I remember when we went there last month because we did they wanted us to come out and do a live podcast out there, and when we
Nice.
went out there and did it, hey, but one of the members of Afterlife Paranormal went to go to the other house to actually use the bathroom. Now I don't know how old that property is, but dude, it was a 4 foot snake that actually crawled
Oh,
up the
wow.
toilet. And when she got up to, to do what she do, she actually saw that snake and actually shot the hell up out of that damn house. And
I believe it. I believe it.
so
They had a tree growing through that house.
yeah, and that dude, that would freak me out every goddamn time I wake up and look at it.
Oh, yeah.
I got a
Yeah.
damn tree in my damn house, man. Like what the hell is this?
That's
But
kind
yeah,
of
dude,
crazy.
it
All right. So
it
Anthony's talking about they meant the Ouija board. Okay, so that makes
the
sense.
Ouija board.
Yeah, I didn't make that connection because we had just finished talking about social media and stuff. So I was thinking, um, uh, like Reddit or something. So very cool.
Right.
I don't know. That's just where my mind went.
All right, the Ouija board.
So we may wanna investigate that some more there, Bruce. I don't know. I'm not sure what my October schedule's screwed up, but yeah. All right. What else you got, Terry?
Speaking of Ouija boards, how do you guys feel about that?
I've had let me say that I've not had any good experience with a Ouija board. We do have one member who collects them and has worked with them for years. Um, I think that they're a tool that needs to be respected and used carefully. Um, from an investigative standpoint, I've seen I've seen the results of Ouija board use
Right.
far more than I've seen good things come from a Ouija board use. So that's just me, George.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't touch them. Ain't going there. The I mean, just because they're made by Hasbro doesn't mean they're a toy by no means.
Right,
Uh,
right, right.
I don't And people will say, well, what you do by just asking questions is the same thing as using a Ouija board. I'm like, no, it's not. First off, we're not opening anything up.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I feel. We're just talking to whoever's there in the house, in the location, whatever that location may be. But using a Ouija board, I just can't bring myself to it. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. The only Ouija board use that I've ever participated in has been to work with others who have more experience with Ouija boards than I do to close them. That's all I've been involved in.
No, that's crazy.
I've had one standout case involving a Ouija board, and sadly, we weren't able to do a whole lot for that case. So,
hey guys, in case you guys don't know about San Antonio, but did you guys know that there are over 30,000 witches in the San Antonio area alone?
well, that's why we're so well protected.
It wouldn't surprise me a bit.
And can you guys, Jeff and George,
Cool, Anthony. Thank you for the history lesson. Yeah.
Can
that's
you
cool
guys-
information. What?
can you guys actually put witches and the paranormal in the same field?
I don't know. I think that true witches who are able to tap into those energies, I wouldn't put them in the same ballpark as paranormal investigators.
No.
Because I see that more as a religion.
Right.
But we've worked with some Wiccans in the past, and sometimes that's what the case calls for, but I've not had any adverse interactions with anyone recently, at least.
Go ahead, George.
I've got a friend of mine that's a witch. She's a Wiccan. She's a witch. She does a lot of what do you call it, with crystals and stuff like that. And
Okay.
total sweetheart. But we took her on a paranormal investigation one time, and this was just a public place, and something just tried messing with her, and she looked at us and she said, "I don't know how y'all do it." being around that energy like that. She goes, "This thing messed me up." And I was like, "Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we just do what we do, but so I think because of that, no, I don't put them in the same realm. Now, could they help each other? Absolutely. But I don't put paranormal investigators and witches in the same kind of.
Okay, Jeff, who do you call? Who do you call when there's a situation that you can't handle, that is out of your league, out of your territory?
It's been a while. Right now, Bruce, who's on the call, is let's call him our spiritual liaison.
Okay.
He's the guy who keeps me from doing stupid things when he can. But before him, we actually had a retired priest that was part of the group. So when we had a case that warranted it, we would bring him in. The only trouble with having a priest on your team is that you're an investigator, which means you are attempting to gather evidence. That makes it difficult when the priest shows up and starts banishing things. So I used to have to tell him, dude, let us see what we can get first, and then you can do your thing, But the truth is, we are one of those teams that once we take a case, we're in it for the long haul. We've only had, in all the time I've been doing this, I've probably got somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 400 cases. 3 of those have been cases that we probably should have called somebody else out. So one of them, we had our priest and he took care of it. That was a very difficult time. Another time we were given the information we needed to take care of the problem. But if it were to happen again today, I think Bruce and I would probably have to get together and consult with the church, because I don't have anybody that I would want to volunteer for that role. So we would want to go out and get the help we need. If and when that ever happens again.
Well, cool. All right, guys, let's talk about equipment for a minute. All right. Hey, guys, if I can tell you right now that I can change your life, would you believe me? As far as
I've already done Amway.
Oh, damn. As far as paranormal investigating, if I present something
Where's all them crickets coming from?
I'm surprised you can hear that. One moment, guys. Let me. Goddamn, Kevin, go away. I got a guy that wants to build me a website, and he's bugging the hell out of me. Man, he wants to charge me an arm and a leg to do so.
Well, sure they do.
And I'm like,
that's the way it works.
And I'm like, Kevin, I mean,
that's why my website is very, very simple and full of information.
So he's actually, I don't even know what the hell my video is. Oh, my bag is somewhere around here. All right, guys. Believe it or not, I have a pair. Jeff, if you've been on my page, you saw me advertising those glasses that I've been trying everybody to actually get, and it would actually help you guys as far as investigating, because the one thing that a paranormal investigator needs to have is his hands, because you got devices and things and all that, and I've got these glasses that I think everybody should, at least try to look in investing in, because they do so much. Like on my podcast last night, if you were watching, when I pulled them out, I think I left them in the car because I had them on this morning, that your body reacts to a certain way when it sees and hears things. When you have your camera in your hand, what is the first thing that's going to move? Is it going to be the camera, or is it going to be your head? Normally, it's going to be your head, then your camera. That's just the way your body reacts, no matter what, unless you Superman or something. So when something go bump in the night, you won't be able to catch that, or you see something at the corner of the eye, you won't be able to catch that. So I went and got these. God damn it! I went and got these audio glasses. Look like regular glasses, George. The ones basically me and you wearing, or the ones that if you're out jogging and those guys that wear those baseball glasses with the funky looking lens. Yeah, I actually got something like that. So I think these glasses here eventually will change the way that we investigate. And they're so good. Hey, not only that, guys, 1080p, 4K, motion detection, heat censored. You can adjust it any way you want, and all these things that you have in a camera. But the one thing is, you're not able to, turn your head and actually get that video or that picture that you want, without doing this at the same time, because that our bodies just don't work like that.
So these are glasses that have the camera lens in them, so they see exactly what you see. Okay.
See right here, they're literally right there in front of you. I don't know where my bag is, but I have a bag. And they work so much, guys. People telling me, some of my team members, well, don't get rid of the cameras. Okay, a paranormal team only need a handful of just a handful of stationary cameras.
Right.
You don't need that many. It depends how big
If
the
you even
location
use
is.
those, yeah,
Yeah,
those are, yeah,
yeah, or if you even use them. But if you really want to catch that things that at the corner, you think you see something out the corner of your eye, but if you turn, 'cause by the time you turn that camera and you turn that head, it's gone.
Right.
that's
But if
right.
you
It's done
if
peeking out the corner.
yeah, but if you turn that head before you turn that camera, it's a good chance you might able to catch whatever you thought you saw, or
Right.
hear
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
thought you hear. So, hey, um, I'm gonna send get up here. I'm gonna send you guys the link to these things.
Okay,
Uh,
that's great.
I bought mine on eBay and it cost me maybe $50, maybe $40. Then I turned around and bought some from China. It took 6 months to get here, but hey,
Right.
look, those are the best ones I've ever had, dude. The audio is Bose audio, and they're Bluetooth, so you can do many things with them. Hey, they're motion detecting, and the good thing about it, they come in 4K.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
4K. One more thing, guys. One more thing. Have you guys played? I'm not a big video fan, but I used to play Modern Warfare back in the day. Uh, you guys ever play video games?
Nope.
I was a Call of Duty 2 guy.
Okay, Call of Duty. Hey, you remember those infantry guys? They have them now, where you got the headband, you got the light, and you got that camera right there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I got those too.
Nice.
And hey, and it helps you out because you got your light and you got your camera at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But with the glasses, you got to have some kind of light source.
Right.
Either you can get a headband without the camera, but either way, uh, that thing at 4K, dude. At 4K, I mean, the pictures are so freaking clear and nice. It's
Nice.
unbelievable. And that thing right there costs, depends how much money you want to spend. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I,
Right.
I can't tell my old lady; she might get mad at me. but
Well, good thing we're not recording this then, right?
yeah, right.
Good
but
thing we're not
I,
live.
but actually, yeah, man, those two items can actually revolutionize the way that we investigate as paranormal
Yeah,
investigators.
that would be helpful.
Yep.
That would be helpful.
Absolutely.
I think,
All right,
and
I have to look
George,
into have to look into that.
and the good thing about us, since we wear glasses, you can actually take those things to your doctor and have your lens actually fit in there.
Nice.
So where it wouldn't be it wouldn't be no back, no. Well, I can't see you, kind of dizzy and all that. Yeah, the lenses that you have, you can actually
Right.
put in there, and
That's cool.
I mean, I'm not for sure on what your eye doctor would charge you to do that, but
Right.
they actually can fit in there. You
Very
know,
cool.
one more thing, this bad boy right here, most people don't have this.
What is it?
It's a motion light. It's a
Oh, okay.
It's a door motion light.
A
Because
door-
when you're in a haunted location and you got your door open and you're sitting there talking and like, yeah, man, is anybody here? Blah, blah, blah. You never know who's walking through that door because you can't see them.
Right.
You
Right.
can't see them, but if you have a sensor that can cover the whole bottom door from one side of the door to the other side of the door, and once that motion light comes on, then you know somebody's in your room with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I
hey,
get you.
that's another little toy I'm trying to investigate. Jeff, I see you. What are you writing over there?
I ain't writing nothing. I'm playing with my fidget. I got a fidget toy here.
Hey, I'm just saying, man, these things, you see how it just came on? And I got it different colors. I got this one green, orange, and white. You can get whatever color you want.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of made this one myself. But yeah, definitely. I have not made a name for it yet, but I'm thinking about the door motion, something. I don't know. But one more thing before I let you guys go. We're going on an hour and 34 minutes. Hey,
Oh no! Yeah, go ahead.
Have you guys ever played Simon Says?
When I was a child, yes.
Okay, how fun
Yeah,
was that
absolutely.
game? When
It
you're
was all
able
right.
to hit bam, 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 and you're able to, and you try to repeat that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh
and
yeah,
you try to repeat those that certain motion on that game.
I got you.
I actually found a way that I can actually build something like that and actually have the spirits because you're able to use a certain motion light that can go tap, tap, tap with different colors, then have the entity of the ghost try to do the same thing.
Okay,
Mm.
Now, how cool would that be?
that'd be pretty cool. I still have my original Simon in the box.
Hey, you might want Jeff. What do you got to say?
I don't got nothing to say. I'm just listening.
Yeah, you got that look on your face.
I'm just listening.
But yeah, dude. I mean, these are just a
I'm
couple
always
of
I'm always
devices.
up to try new toys, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, and you know what? And it having that door stop, that door one, because like you said, dude, you really don't know, who's coming in and out that door because
right.
you really don't see it. But if you put that long door stop right there, and if it lights up, you know something is hit that motion, and something is able to come through that door. Also, let's say for instance, because me, the one problem that I had is when I was in an abandoned nursing home. If anybody been to a nursing home, you know how long those hallways are.
Oh yeah.
Man, they're about a football field long. So what I was able to do is I was able to take some of these that are half these sizes, uh, have motion detected, different colors, and I was able to put them in a hallway, probably depending how long the hallway, a couple of feet apart, or put them in between each door, hallway. Because there's a door, there's a hallway, and the other side there's I put one in each hallway, right there in front of the door, and I would ask specific questions, and every time that I had a question and it was answered, that particular light would light up.
Oh nice.
Hmm.
And I would ask, are you guys walking me? If you're walking towards me, can you light up the device that you are nearby? And that device would light up. Now, mind you,
That's cool.
there's like 3 or 4 other devices down the hallway, and I just happened to ask that specific question, and that specific device that they nearby lights up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Nice.
I don't know. I just, I was just brainstorming one day, and I'm like, man, there's got to be a way where I can figure out where these people are coming from. If they're coming out of a room, or and I went back
Right,
to
right.
that, and I went back to that nursing home, and it worked perfectly.
Very
I mean,
cool.
I'm not using those cat balls anymore because I lose them. My
Nice.
eyes are bad already. You
You
know
know,
what
the
I'm
problem
saying?
with the cat balls is that the damn things run out. I got one on my desk here somewhere that I can't figure out how to open it up, change the battery, which I think is kind of bogus because it's freaking clear plastic and I can see the batteries. I just can't figure out how
Yeah.
to get to them
Uh,
in a way, in a way that I can change them.
I think they're meant to be. I think they're so cheap, man. They're
Yeah,
meant.
they're supposed to be throwaway, but
Yeah, once they're done, they're
I
done.
have a hard time throwing away stuff when I can see the battery compartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, but
Right.
the good thing about this here is
Okay, but is that a good thing or a bad thing?
you can charge it.
Sure, but if I find if I have a spirit energy that's just going to suck the life out of my batteries,
Well,
how's that
I
going to
mean,
help?
it's a double-edged sword either way.
Every piece of equipment we use is a double-edged sword, and that I think is the point that we need to understand that. We need to prepare for that.
It's a
Alyssa, you're very late. You got here just in time to say goodbye. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, hello.
yeah.
Uh, can I, if I can add an idea, if you will. Uh, I had this idea of when it would be cool to be able to say, how people feel like, oh, I feel static electricity going by, or almost like a spider web feeling, or they say ghosts and spirits are electricity. Uh,
hmm
I was thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if there was a way to be able to find out not only the milligauss or whatever, but whether it's alternating current or direct current. So what I found, I was looking for a device, and what I found was it's called a pros kit, and what it is, it's a regular multimeter, which anybody who knows multimeters knows it registers in depending on like whether it's parts of a volt, millivolts, milliamps, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it also, but if you're going to test something, you have to set it to alternating direct current. What this does is this tells you everything. All you do, you don't set it to anything. You just touch them to like a power source.
So it's auto sensing.
It'll tell you if it's alternating current or direct current. It'll tell you what voltage, what amperage. I want to build a wand for it, but I haven't built one yet. But I thought that would be kind of neat, like somebody feels a static electricity and you could walk over there and maybe talk to something, ask it to touch the wand, and it'll tell you, is it alternating current, is it direct current, what millivolts, what milliamps, all that kind of stuff. So it will give you a reading. And now I don't know, I haven't put this in the field and I haven't tested to see if it's that sensitive, but anybody who knows multimeters knows that they're supposed to be that sensitive.
Wow. You know what, George?
Yes,
it's so weird that you brought that up, because I met a guy out of New York who actually invented the same thing that you're talking about. But the only difference is, have you guys ever seen those little balls and it has like, you touch it, it's got electricity in it, and you touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, he was able to adjust that to where he has two negative, positive wires, and he takes that and he used on his investigation. And if he asked a certain entity to touch that, they actually touch it, and those damn lights and electricity are able to shoot up in that ball. And it is so cool how that got. I mean,
oh wow,
yeah, it was cool how he able to do that. He said he's not going to put it out. He's not trying to make your money on it. It was just something that he thought of while he was doing that. I mean, while he was just inventing things. Like, well, let me try this, and dude, it works.
That's cool.
It really works, man. I mean, I was shocked to see it.
Very cool.
I mean, you're not going to get the charge like a normal, or like when you plug it into the wall, but you get that little kinetic energy, a little tap or little, whatever that they do. But yeah, dude, it was so cool.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to send you his name so you can actually look at that video on how
Yeah,
he
yeah,
does that.
yeah. Send it to me. I'd like to know it.
Oh yeah,
Or
very cool.
okay.
Jeff will send it to me.
All right, definitely. Hey guys, almost the end of the show. I asked everybody this question. Jeff, you got a bucket list, man? Tell me a place on your bucket list you would love to investigate.
I'd love to investigate. I want to spend more quality, dedicated time at Gettysburg. I found myself there on accident a few years ago, and I did not know that I was there at first. So once I understood where I was, it explained the things that I was experiencing. But yeah, for me, I think a good like a week at Gettysburg is where I'd like to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get lost?
I just did not know. I knew I was I knew I was in the area, but I'd never been there before. So I was driving down the highway. Some crazy, weird things started happening. So we pulled over, and that's when I realized where we were. So,
Nice.
yeah. So that would be my big one, I think.
Okay. All right, George. What about you, brother? Where would you like to go on your bucket list?
My bucket list, we're actually gonna go in March. The Myrtles Plantation.
Oh,
The Myrtles Plantation in I forgot where in Louisiana, but it's in Louisiana.
yeah.
Kind of above Lake. I think it's Lake Charles and or not Lake Charles. New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
I can't remember exactly the little city, but yeah, the Myrtles plantation, just because it always seemed cool to me that plantation, sitting on the porch drinking sweet tea, and maybe have a ghost run by,
Well,
and as
I
you tip
tell
your
you,
hat and say, "Good day, sir. Good day, man."
well, I tell you what. I hope you don't run into. If you said the Myrtles plantation, I hope you don't run into Chloe over there.
Oh yeah, I heard about Chloe.
But you
Yeah.
know what? When Let me tell you guys a real short story about that. When Loretta Lynn, I don't know if you guys know who she is.
Oh
She
yeah.
she owned the Myrtles plantation before she sold it. Now
Yeah.
she's the one that kept it the way it was. Right now, it's a bed and breakfast, which there's a lot of people that's going in and out of that place. So you don't get that spooky feel like you used to. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people coming and going, investigators out there. I liked it better when she kept it private. And if I'm right, I think she lived on the property, and she was only able to bring in a few people at a time to investigate. Now it's got over, man. It's just been, it just got over peopleized. There's just
Yeah,
people everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, uh,
Good.
hey, that would be an interesting place. If I were you, George, if I was to go there, I would go down by the slave cabin, down there where people really don't aren't allowed to go
Right, right.
unless you. I think you can rent that room out, but it's back in the oh, oh, just east of the main house.
Okay.
So definitely, if you can get that cabin down there to yourself, you might have a chance.
Nice.
Yeah. So
And then the next day we're gonna go have beignets and coffee at
There
Cafe
you go.
Dumont.
there you
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
You don't
There
want to go
you
to
go.
Louisiana without having some beignets.
No, no. Gotta have them beignets and coffee.
You know what, man? For a creepy state, it's not the most haunted state in the country. Unfortunately, that's Texas. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
They got a lot of
So
cool history, though.
yeah, the
Yeah.
history is cool. I mean, it's kind of yeah, it's really creeped out. I think it's more creeped out than Texas, but it's definitely some place that you should go. If you're not, go to Savannah, Georgia, one of the most
Yeah.
haunted cities
That's
ever.
another one. That's another one I
Yeah,
want to do.
and I don't use that word much because to me, using the most haunted, that word most haunted is a paranormal no no because because we really don't know
No, we
what's the
don't.
most
No, we
haunted.
don't.
So
No, we don't.
I really don't like using that word. And when I use it, some of my people get on me like, Terry, you're not to use that word, the most haunted. I'm like, well, yeah, I know, but it is one of the most haunted cities in the country.
Oh yeah.
But it is what it is. Hey guys, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thanks for the
And
invite.
Yeah, thank
sure, I mean, and George, Jeff. Hey man, let's get the whole team on next time if it's possible.
That'd be
So
a neat trick. We could try that.
we can have one big
Well, we
shindig.
got two extras here. We got Elizabeth and Bruce here today, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, hi guys. But I like to see that face. It's all about that
Yep,
face,
yep.
that face expression. You know what I'm saying? But hey, tell the world how to get a hold of you guys.
Easiest way to get a hold of us is go to website or the Facebook page. If you go to the website, just go to sspghosts.com.
Cool. George, how to get a same thing? How to get if somebody want to get a hold of you personally, how would they get a hold of you?
If it was just you people out in the ethos or whatever you want to call it, they can get a hold of me on my Facebook page. Or Maggie talking smack, or just look up George Aguilar on Facebook, and that's it. It's just that simple.
Hey,
Send me a message and tell me how much you like my hat or whatever, and boom, I'll get back with you.
you know what? I'm proud of you guys because nobody have any cowboy Nobody have any cowboy stuff on and no Longhorn attire. The two most hated teams in my life, Cowboys and
football?
Longhorns. Huh?
I'm a paranormal investigator. I don't have time for sports.
Oh damn. Well, yeah, guys, it has been a pleasure. Liz,
what's up, Maddie?
People are coming. Hi, Maddie. How you doing?
Maddie.
Hi, Alyssa.
Maddie.
How you guys doing? Hey, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys, man. Let's do it
anytime,
again.
man. Anytime.
If I think I'm coming down there in a couple of weeks. You guys want to get together? Show me a couple spaghetti warehouses. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you guys got more than one in San Antonio.
No, there's only one spaghetti warehouse.
There's only one. Oh,
yeah,
that is
amazing. I think that's a law. Only one per city.
Well, hey, I don't know if any city can handle that much hunting in one city.
There you go.
Spaghetti. Right, spaghetti. Hey, you guys have a good one, man. I appreciate you guys coming on. George, take care of yourself. Jeff Sullivan, stay out of trouble and quit drinking all that tea.
I can't help the tea, man. Gotta have the tea.
Tea's bad for you.
Yeah, well, not as bad as the sodas were.
Oh, it depends on which one it is. Coke.
Yeah.
if you seen what Coke do to battery cables, just imagine what it do to your insides. Yeah. It'll rip you up. Hey, guys, it's been a pleasure. Right. Appreciate it. Hey, let's do it again. Peace.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
All right, guys. That was 6 Sense Paranormal out of San Antonio, Texas. Appreciate those guys coming on. Hey, no matter where you go, you're always able to learn something from somebody, and which is a good thing. So you're able to take all that knowledge and you're able to put it up here and you're able to use it. You know what I'm saying? So Jeff is definitely that type of guy that's very knowledgeable in the paranormal field. You know what I'm saying? So thanks, Ant. I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I can't wait to get on your show so I'm able to answer questions instead of ask questions. My next podcast will be happening at, let's see here, today is October 1st, will be the Ghost Sisters. Yeah, so the Ghost Sisters podcast will start at 7. In the meantime, you guys, there you go. Drop that intro. I want to see it. Hey, you guys will be able to see that podcast at 7 Central. So I hope to see you guys in a little bit. Also, NSPS TV Paranormal After Midnight it will be kicking off here soon. This will be a brand new podcast for me. The reason we call it After Midnight, most of you guys know what happens after midnight. So this podcast will talk about the ins and the outs and the negative about paranormal investigating and paranormal investigators. So stay tuned with me on that. More details will be coming available as I get this thing set up. We did a little sneak preview last night. If you guys want to go back and watch that, you feel free to do so on my NSPA TV Paranormal Podcast, Raw and Uncut. You know what I'm saying? So in the meantime, hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in a couple hours. Peace.